Let's go. Pull up in motorcades. We got a show today because all we're trying to do is hustle and motivate. Wise words by my guy, Nipsey Russell. There we go. It's another episode of Outside Shots presented to you by OGs, where today we are announcing that you can get this beautiful little shirt right here. Look at this gorgeous little baby right here. Eddie's jealous because he didn't get one. That's on me. But you can get this one next Friday at Buds-A-Palooza. Look at this dope-ass graphic right here. The vibes are immaculate. They're always immaculate here on Outside Shots. Make sure you come out to that event. It's one of the best events in downtown Phoenix. And it's right up the street from our office. Check that out. So we'll all be out there, the whole PHNX crew hanging out. I don't know if EJ will come out, but maybe we can convince him to come hang out for a little bit.
I mean, is that a medium? I mean, you know you're a double XL guy.
It is a double XL, man.
But you trying to wear a medium.
What you talking about, man?
I mean, you trying to squeeze
nice
up a little bit.
No, man. First of all, if it was a medium, my guns would be showing. So.
Well, don't have me take this hoodie off because I got a Tiger Woods T-shirt on up under this.
Let me see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Masters. The Masters start off today.
He too.
Oh, okay.
He
okay.
too over though. He just got a birdie. Though.
He did.
Got a birdie.
He did. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that at the end because EJ tried to flex on social, and I'm gonna call him out for it. But anyway, the Suns lock up the 4 seed this week. Obviously, they got 3 games left to go, starting tonight with the Denver Nuggets, and then tomorrow against the Lakers, and then they finally wrap up the season with the Clippers in what feels like the longest season of all time, to me at least. EJ, who do you think we would match up better against, and who would you most like to play in the first round?
Since I'm not a player anymore, see, if I was a player and you asked me that question, I wouldn't give you an answer.
You'd probably say anybody.
I'd do it out of respect.
Yeah.
You don't want any bulletin board material.
Sure.
As a Suns announcer, I still have to go along those lines.
Sure.
But I can deviate a little bit.
Okay.
Just based on situation, right? So if the Clippers were whole, they would be a dangerous team to play with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And they have a deep basketball team. Norman Powell's playing exceptionally well. He had a great game last night. They got Bones Highland. He scored 15 in the fourth quarter against the Lakers. So that gave you an idea. Nicholas Batum has had huge games off the bench for them. They got Covington over there who can defend. They got a deep team. Marcus Morris Sr., I don't know what his health is like, but still, I mean, very deep team. So without Paul George, without a doubt, they're vulnerable. So, I crack up when guys say, I want them healthy. I want them healthy. I want them like that. Bull crap, man. You're a competitor. You take it anywhere you want. If you can get them while they're wounded, go get them while they're wounded. So I would like to think that, you'd want to save the Lakers for a little bit later if they can get past whatever they are. I think they're playing excellent basketball, as good as basketball as any team in the league right now, even though they lost last night. And then Golden State is just Golden State. Yeah. I mean, they're the defending champion. You don't know what you're going to get with them right now. Yeah, they're getting Andrew Wiggins back. And trust me, he was a major reason why they beat Boston last year.
Oh, yeah.
So I just look at it like this. Whoever we play is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But here's what we have. Hashtag, we very good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
we went from hashtag, we still good. Well, actually, we were at hashtag, we good. To hashtag we still good because we had a little bit of injury problem. Then we back to we good, and now we are very good.
Hashtag we very good. So, if I'm going in that dark alley with a team and say, hey, I hope to get out. I got to win games to get out. I'd go with this team right here. And so, however the road dictates, you got to go through the road no matter who's in front of you. And for me, I know my brother spent a lot of his life in prison. He passed away a number of years ago, but he used to always tell me, he said, don't you ever go to prison. And I'm like, I'm not. And he says, if you do.
Wise words.
Yeah, he said, if you do, then make sure you go after the biggest dude in there first. And everybody else is going to shudder after that. But they're going to respect you. And that's how I look at it. Like, you go after the best team. The Suns had to do it a couple of years ago. They had to play the Lakers in the first round. They were down 2-1 in that series. Yes, Anthony Davis got hurt. So, but still, I just think right now we're playing at a level defensively, Offense is always going to be there. But we're playing at a level defensively right now. Doesn't matter.
You concerned about KD a little bit? Just,
what do you mean?
Just the fact that, two out of his last 3 games weren't the most ideal games. He was a little rough, shooting-wise specifically. Any concerns?
About who?
Kevin Durant. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, I'm not worried about Kevin Durant, but there are some people that are.
Who? Who are these people?
The couch potatoes and water boys.
Okay, so where are you sitting?
Oh, I'm good.
Are you sitting with the couch potatoes and water boys?
No. Listen, I know KD's going to turn it on, so I'm not concerned at all. I believe he'll have probably like 25 tonight.
Not worried about him.
Okay.
I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about Devin. I'm not worried about Chris. If they're all on the basketball court, I'm not worried about those 3. I continue to expect certain things from DeAndre. You expect certain things from your bench. But no. And I don't worry about Bismack Biyombo. You know he's going to give you 110%. You know his limitations. But you know he's going to work his butt off. So for me, no, I'm not worried about those guys.
Okay. Between the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Lakers, and now all of a sudden the Pelicans, who do you think can least afford to be in the play-in?
Who do I think can least?
Yeah. Who do you think would be in trouble if they were in the play-in out of those 4 teams?
I think all of them, tell you the truth, because especially if you're 9-10. It's college. It's a college tournament now. 1 game, you're out. So you don't want to be 9-10. And so, 7, 8, they get 2 chances. And so for me, I mean, I think whoever's 9-10 are the most vulnerable because they have to win 2 games, and that's very difficult, especially if you finish that low in the standings. Now at the end of the year, you got to win 2.
Yeah.
So Memphis did it, and they had to go to Golden State and beat them at the Golden State lost to the Lakers. Yeah, but 2 years ago, but that is very difficult to do. So I would say whoever finishes 9-10, it's going to have a very difficult time.
And right now, as it stands, OKC and Minnesota will be that 9-10 matchup. The Lakers and the Pelicans would be that 7-8 matchup, which is a doozy. Now, Dallas is tied with OKC, but OKC owns the tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. So Dallas needs OKC to lose at least a game. Dallas has a couple easy games coming up. They have, easy on paper, right?
They're at home.
No, actually, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah. That was OKC. OKC has the Grizzlies still left and the Jazz.
And the Grizzlies might not play. I don't think they got anything to play for right now, right? So
yeah, they might.
Yeah, but you see that resting Ja Morant, so I could see them resting guys at the end. And I don't want to hear no woe is me from teams like, come on, man, why don't you play your full team, man, to help us get in? No, you should have won your damn games early in the year. No. Don't want to hear it. Like, those teams are trying to prepare for what they worked hard to get to because they won games early in the year to get to the playoffs. You should never put yourself in position to have to depend on teams to do you a favor.
The Mavericks have the Bulls and the Spurs. The Bulls have already clinched a play-in berth. They are not going to be able to make it to the top 6, obviously. So depending on seeding within that play-in, they still have something to play for. But the Spurs have been out for weeks now. They can still play tough.
Hard though,
but they can still play tough because Popovich
that's their playoff. But that's their playoff to be a spoiler. Yeah. Like you want to. I've been in that position when I was on bad teams. You want to be a spoiler. Yeah. So those to me are the toughest teams to play. That's why I say strength of schedule. Like you guys that, you analytic dudes out there, you got your little gambling apps and, you think you're a mathematician and you're going to figure this thing out. Look, when they throw up that strength of schedule junk at the end of the year, well, this team has, an easier schedule than that team. It doesn't matter at the end. Case in point. How did it look the other night when Denver lost to Houston? Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm more afraid of the weaker teams at the end of the season than I am the good teams because the good teams are trying to not get injured. They're trying to not put themselves in a tough position going into the playoffs. Case in point, Chris Middleton injured last night for Milwaukee. So Giannis did not play. So Jokic has been held out with a sore calf, supposedly. And so, you don't worry about strength of schedule.
There's a question in the chat by Mark. It says, is Zion coming back for the Pels? So on paper, he's back to on-court activities. He will be reevaluated, but they expect him back by the end of the season. And so here the next couple games, they only have 2 left.
He's on the court. So
yeah, he's been on the court since March 22nd. So
yeah.
We'll see how long it takes for him to ramp up, because it does take a little bit of time to get back up to speed. So.
Look, if he does come back, I don't know, again, with that big body that he hasn't been able to really actually run sprints to a high level because of the hamstring. Mm-hmm. So you just don't know what kind of NBA shape he's in. Yeah. And do they risk the factor of it getting worse, right? Yeah. So that's the way I look at it with him. I think he could be a limited factor in a play-in situation, but I wouldn't think he'd come back and do what he was doing before he got injured. Yeah. He was playing at an all-NBA level.
Yeah. I mean, the Pels were the best team in the NBA until they just got riddled with injuries. So then Denver kind of took that top spot and ran with it and never looked back. So the Pelicans are a very, very tough team when fully healthy. They are physical. We saw them in the playoffs last year. We've seen them a couple times this year. And we know what they bring to the table. But honestly, the entire Western Conference, and I know people are sitting there talking about, people are trying to duck the Suns or the 4 spot or 5 spot. They want the 6 seed because they want to play the Kings. And I'm here to tell you, you can sleep on the Kings all you want, but the Kings are a very good team. And yeah, you're accounting for the nerves of their first playoff series in 17 years, but be careful what you wish for, because they're a 3 seed for a reason. And it's because they play very, very good basketball. And teams, if they are trying to duck, they better be careful, because I know the Lakers think that maybe if they get to that 6th spot, they can play the Kings and they can get a nice, easy victory and get on to the round 2. I don't see it that way.
No, I think in hindsight they respect the Kings, but I think they just maybe fear the Suns. And I think that's part of the mindset. And I get that part, but you're correct. The Sacramento Kings have had a tremendous year. Yeah. They have one of the best centers in the game in Sabonis, and they have the best closer in the game in De'Aaron Fox. He is the best closer this season, and he has scored more points in the fourth quarter. This guy's lights out, and they have a very good role players on their team. So, and Mike Brown is going to be coach of the year. They have had a tremendous year. I'm very obviously, I am partial to the Kings. I spent most of my career as an NBA player with the Kings organization in Kansas City and Sacramento. So I'm very happy and excited that they are getting back to the playoffs after 16 years. And obviously, I have some relationships with ownership there as well. That's some friends of mine. So I'm happy for them. But you're right, they're a good team. And Draymond. Well, I'd rather just play Sacramento. It's not because I disrespect them. It's just because, we would take the bus. Man, please. You drive your car, you pull up to the damn plane, you get on it, you're getting 2 meals, you're sitting in freaking captain's chairs, you're sitting down, you're relaxing. Who cares? Go to sleep. And he sleeps with his mouth open.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
Because he can't close his mouth during the game.
He's a mouth breather.
Yeah. So, he's knocked out. So what does he care about taking a bus?
Yeah. So, obviously you played in the NBA. A lot of different rules existed when you played that do not exist now, especially in light of the last week in the CBA and the fixes in the CBA. And we have a graphic right here that shows you some of the changes. And I want to get your opinion, EJ. So some of the different plays or changes. No more marijuana testing. Players got to play 65 games in order to qualify for postseason awards. There's a midseason tournament. And number 4, and I think that's the biggest one that a lot of people were talking about this week, you got to curb your enthusiasm, because the spending, there is now a limit, and there's a second threshold to the luxury tax that if you go into, you lose your mid-level exception and you lose the ability to be able to really spend furiously like a lot of teams had done before, namely the Warriors being a primary one. What's the biggest of those 4 topics? Which one was the biggest one?
Or put that back up there.
Or was there something else that maybe I didn't bring up that you would like to highlight?
No, that's fine. That's good. Well, obviously with the drug testing, I know people had comments on that. And like I said, I don't know what it feels like to play high. I've never played high. I've never been high in my life. I've never tried it. People can doubt what I'm saying because I grew up in the city of Chicago. I was in that environment. I happened to be in the room with guys that were getting high. I never have. And it was just a decision I made.
This segment not brought to you by OGs.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's fine. Not to say that I won't ever try it before I, get older or whatnot, but I just never had a desire to try it. I'm high on life. I felt like, for me, after watching my brothers grow up and see the mistakes that they made, they just assured me that I would never do it, and I've never really felt the urge to do it. I do have a little drink every now and then, which some people term this as a drug. There's some vodka right now.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
9:55 in the morning. Let's go.
I'm just kidding. But I've never done that. But I have no problem if that's what the league is doing with the players. So be it. As long as they go out there and perform. Obviously, they've been doing it anyway. Yeah. And they've been performing. So I'm not going to be a judge of character there. I think the one thing, the 2 things that got me is I love the fact that 65 games now get you an award.
Same.
At load managing stuff and guys not playing because they think they might get hurt. Now, think about what I'm saying here. They're not playing because they think they are or they might get hurt. Get out of here with that. John Wall stepped out of the damn shower and tore his Achilles. Don't want to hear. To me, the safest place for a basketball player is between the lines. Why? You're playing against and competing against guys that respect you because they don't want you to hurt them. 2, you have officials. Okay, so you have rules. So you like, for instance, if you wanted to box and they say, okay, we want you to box Mike Tyson. All right? Okay, where would you rather box Mike Tyson?
In the ring.
In the damn ring.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
I'm not boxing him on the street. This ain't Rocky. You saw what happened. They fight without damn gloves. It's no rules. So when they say that, it's just laughable.
Yeah.
I played my first 5 or 6 years, didn't miss a damn game. Cotton lost his mind in my rookie year and gave me some DMPs, okay? But I was ready and dressed. After that, played in every game. I missed 1 damn game my first 5 or 6 years in the NBA. Never was tired. Beat up, hurt, but you know what? Had my best games when I was hurt. So I'm glad the league is doing that. Draymond came out calling, we're going to have bums win awards now. I guess, Draymond, you got a chance.
Ooh.
Because when Steph Curry and Klay Thompson was out, when they were out, where were you? Matter of fact, you start load managing. You average single digits. So I guess you be one of them dudes then. Okay, so I respect guys in the NBA. Every NBA player earn their right out of millions that want to play, and there's no player in the NBA is a bum. I just took exception to that. That drove me nuts. The part that really gets me, though, is the positionless player.
You didn't like that?
Man,
oh, here we go.
I grew up as a small forward.
I'm ready for this.
I grew up as when I got into the league, when I started watching players, I wore number 8 because of Marcus Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Johnson was a small forward.
Okay.
I fell in love with Chet Walker. Chet Walker, old-time player, Hall of Famer, Chicago Bulls, was a small forward. Had 100 fakes. Boom, 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 boom. I'm out there doing Chet Walker moves. Bob Love, small forward. Dr. J, one of the coolest players that ever play in the game, small forward. Kiki Vandeweghe. I patterned my game after them. And when I got in the league, I was playing well, exceptional at times, and I could never make an all-star team because I was in a league that had a ton of small forwards. And I understood it and I respected it and I said, okay. I gave into that. We had a job description. Small forwards job, run the floor, come off screens, blah, 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 be fast. 2 guard, come off screens, wing player, be fast, shoot the ball, center, take your big ass in the paint, run down the middle of the floor, set screens, get rebounds, post up, okay? Power forward, an enforcer, Maurice Lucas, guys like that. Enforcer, power forward. Tim Duncan, known as the greatest power forward ever. He plays center more than power forward. The reason why he did it,
Go ahead.
because he couldn't make all-time in centers, but he guarded centers. He played center more than ever. That was a political move. Tim Duncan played more center than anybody. Back to the basket, on the block. That's what Tim Duncan played. That's power forward. Karl Malone, power forward. You're going to start now. I'm going to let you talk in a minute.
Okay,
I'm on a
all
rant.
right. I mean, yeah, I see.
I know where you're trying to go with this. It is insane because everybody has a description. Here's my final point to you. All right? Luka Doncic. Right? You're going to say he plays point guard. Right?
No.
No, he's a point guard. He brings the ball up.
Okay.
He's positionless. He handles the ball all the time.
Okay.
He ain't guard no damn point guard. So that's not the description then.
Okay.
He's a dribbler. That's what he does. He dribbles the ball up. That's what he does. He's not quote unquote a point guard, right? But he dribbles the ball up. He is a forward. That's what he is. He guards forward. He rebounds like a forward. That's what he is. He gangsters like a forward. He is a forward. He defines the definition of forward. That's what it is. He's not positionless. He just dribbles the ball up. That's all it is. Put people in their position.
Okay.
You got a position. What's your position?
I was a guard.
Host. Host.
I was a guard.
Host. I guarantee you're not going to let me host right now. You host it.
All right. Are you done now? Okay. First of all, there's a guy by the name of Kevin Durant that is on the Suns right now. He
power
is a very
forward.
different. No, he's not a power forward.
He plays power.
But he can guard any position, and he can guard guards. He will guard. Sometimes they will line him up at the 2.
He won't guard him for freaking a whole game. I had to get out there and guard a guard. I had to guard Mark Eaton.
Chris Paul doesn't guard point guards all game either. Sometimes he's down low on the block, guarding the small forward. That's what I'm saying. Everybody switches, so it's positionless.
But we switch.
And by your own definition, you talked about how Tim Duncan was a power forward, but he was also playing center. That's the definition of positionless.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, he's a forward.
And the reason why I'm going to say this right here.
Forward.
I'm going to say this right now.
He's a forward.
The reason why the positionless thing makes sense is because right now, in this very moment, you have 2 guys that are neck and neck for MVP, and Embiid and Jokic. And you can't reward both of them for having tremendous seasons. You can only pick one. So the guy that gets MVP, there's a scenario where the guy that gets MVP doesn't even get first team All-NBA. What kind of bullshit is that?
Because he had the wrong damn position.
Oh my God, no.
Hold it.
They're both centers.
No, you can't. Look.
Is Joel Embiid a center?
Just like the other day, you got these water boys and couch potatoes out there, all 4 Iowa going to the White House. Heck no. Stay your butt at home.
Hey, look at the rundown, man. We're going to get to that next, okay?
Okay, fine. Stay your butt at home. Okay, I just use that as an example. Stay your butt at home. There's no second place, man. Second place is second place. It doesn't equal first. Okay, so if Embiid is the best damn center in the league, he's the best center in the league. You know what, Jokic? Tough cookie.
But what if Jokic gets the MVP but doesn't get first NBA team?
That's not going to happen.
I'm just saying, there is a scenario where could.
Where it could happen. Well, some people think differently.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying, positionless basketball is a very real thing.
No, you compete, man. You compete for the position you play. You want to be known as the best point guard ever? You compete for that. Because that has a job description. Look it up in the basketball book. In any basketball book, you got these analytical dudes trying to take the game totally away from us. They're trying to reinvent the game, change the damn game. It is not positionless. PJ Tucker guards centers.
But he's not a center.
Exactly.
That's why it's positionless.
No.
Oh my God. You just proved my point.
No, you didn't hear my last part of it.
Oh my God. Okay.
He guards a center. Have you seen PJ Tucker post up?
No.
He ain't no center then. That's the point. If he's not doing the full job description of that position, he's not that.
There's not one player in the NBA that solely guards the center of the other team or the point. They all guard everybody.
No, because they switch. But that's
what makes it positionless.
No, but when they run down the court, they don't run. Does DeAndre Ayton run to the point guard?
No.
Is he picking him up full court?
True.
Where did he go?
Right,
to the damn center.
Sure.
So okay then. So that doesn't mean anything. He switches out for a few seconds of the shot clock. He is not purposely. If those guys go down and they don't run screen and roll, DeAndre Ayton is not guarding anybody but the center.
What happened last year when Rudy Gobert played against the Dallas Mavericks? What did the Dallas Mavericks do to him?
They switched everything.
No. How did they run their offense? What five guys were out there? They didn't have centers half the damn time on that court.
Hold on.
They had forwards and guards, and they went five out and spread them and exposed them because it's positionless basketball.
History will tell you, if you go all the way back to the freaking 50s, they had teams when guys were only 6'4". Yeah, okay then. One of them had to play center. His job description was to guard the center. He might have been 6'4". That's his fault. He got to go talk to his parents about that. Okay? All right?
Okay.
Mom should have probably married a 6'9" guy or something. I don't understand. But he had to play center. That was his position. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Like, you grow up and you learn how to play a certain way. Like Anthony Davis had a growth spurt. In high school, he was 6'1". Okay? And he grew like 8 inches. So he had to go from being a point guard to playing a forward/center. So that's what he had to do. His job description changed. They're trying to take the job description away. I was a shooter. Okay? You gonna tell me that's a job description? You gonna tell me just because somebody check in and they play the same position to me, he can start shooting? No. It's a job description, man. You're taking it away. Your couch potatoes, your water boys, your analytical robots. Basketball, generationally, is a position game. And kids growing up have to understand that. You got these 7-footers out here thinking they can freaking shoot threes. And they can't. Because you all want to make it positionless. You got guys trying to dribble the damn ball up. Can't dribble dead. Because you all want to make them think that they're a point guard.
What position does Ben Simmons play?
A point guard. Basically.
He's awful as a point guard.
No, Ben Simmons was excellent as a point guard.
He can pass.
No, Ben Simmons one of the smartest players in the game.
He can pass.
You messed up there.
No.
Ben Simmons is an excellent point guard. The guy average, you look at his career averages, he flirts with triple doubles.
Because he can't shoot. No, Eddie, he can't even make a layup.
Listen, that's another animal. He averaged 18 points a game.
Yeah, way back in the day?
No, 2 years ago. He averaged 18. He flirted with a triple double. That's the 2 years ago when he was in Philly, when they lost in the playoffs. We gotta remember. That year when they lost in the playoffs,
he went through all his shit.
He was averaging like 18, 8, and 9, something like that.
And since then.
Right, but my point is it's psychological with him. That's another animal. Okay. But he's a tremendous point guard. But he's a liability on the offensive end.
I grew up in the era just a little bit after you, and that's when the positionless stuff started. And I firsthand experienced it. And you know why I played 2-guard in college, Eddie? It's because we didn't have a guard that could shoot as good as I could. Point blank. That's just what it was. We had a point guard, and I had to play shooting guard, even though I thought I was the better point guard. So I had to play shooting guard because nobody else could shoot. That's how it is.
Saul, nothing.
It's positionless. I can play either one.
Saul, nothing takes you away from running the offense, man. I'm not saying that you can't dribble. What I'm saying is it's a hierarchy that defaults to the person who actually is the point guard on the floor. Everybody can initiate a play. I'm saying that defensively and offensively, when you go out to start the game, you are known as that position, and that's why you're out there in that regard. There's some versatile players in the history of this game that have been able to circumvent and play multiple positions. I am not saying that. Back in our day, we had guys that I played, Saul, listen, I played 2 guard, I played small forward, and at times I played power forward.
You were the definition of positionless.
No, that's not position. No, it's not positionless to me because my main position was small forward. Like that was me. I was able to do some other things, but I wasn't doing it all the time. Here's the thing: I was always playing small forward. That was always power forward. As if I was guarding somebody that wasn't a scorer. So Cotton to say, okay, we're gonna go small. I'll put you over here on him because he's not gonna be ultra aggressive. But trust me, I didn't like the idea of being down there with a dude like Antoine Carr, who's outweighing me by 40 pounds and knocking the hell out of me. But he put me over there because he wanted to go small and I could get away with it. That's how it works. But ultimately, I was a small forward. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. But the problem is in today's game, there are so many guys that have length, the height that is versatile to play so many different positions more than ever before. Like you have guys that are 6'9". You have so many more guys that are 6'9" that can shoot from the perimeter and drive the basketball than you did in the 80s. You just do. Like that's because that's the way that they've been groomed since AAU. Like it's just a different day and age. So I'm on board with this whole positionless mindset because I don't agree that, we have to. What if you have 5 bum-ass centers at the top of the league, but they can't do shit? You're just going to reward one of them as all NBA because we have to put them in a position?
Hey, point guard, 2 guard, small forward, power forward, center. Get better and be the best. Be better and be the best. It's no second place at your position. None. Just because you can go out as a center and take some threes, but it's another center that's doing damage in the paint the same as you, you're going to think that, he's versatile. He's more versatile. No, not really. The guy in the paint, Shaquille O'Neal, example, is going to get you to the bonus. That's what a center does. Go up there and get rebounds. Get your big butt in the paint. Yeah, it's exceptions to the rule. Without a doubt it is. I'm an exception to the rule.
There's far more exceptions to the rule now than ever before.
Only because they want it to be. They got guys out there shooting threes, Saul, that can't shoot because they say a bad 3 is better than the contested 2. Those are the water boys. Those are the robots. Those are your robots. Look, here's a robot. Here's my definition of a robot, analytical robot. And say the game is on, this is him.
They're typing, Eddie. They're not writing.
He hadn't even watched the damn game, people. He's not watching the game. You know what he's looking at? The box score. He's looking at the diagram of where they're taking shots. He's not even watching the game.
Oh, all right. Well, it looks like we all need to calm down. You can calm down by getting a nice little Happy Balance.
Give me OG.
There you go. A nice little Happy Balance gummy from our friends at OG's, where you can find this beautiful shirt next week at their nice. Let me get over here. At their nice pop-up at Buds-A-Palooza. Run that graphic again one more time there, Jacob, please. There it is. Beautiful shirt. The vibes are immaculate. You can get yours at Buds-A-Palooza next week, April 14th. We'll be live from the Buds-A-Palooza event. We'll be doing a nice little, what do we call it there? The variety show. There we go. Live variety show from Buds-A-Palooza. It's going to be so much fun. So come out, hang out. Try their Happy Balance gummy. It's nice strawberries and cream, 1-to-1 ratio of THC and CBD. CBD will help your aches and pains, or if your jaw hurts because you've been yelling for the last 15 minutes, and a little THC to just kind of mellow you out a little bit. So in case you get a little hyped up this early in the morning at 10:15, and everything's all good. So check them out, ogsbrands.com. Make sure you're 21 and over to enjoy.
Looking at that shirt getting me high.
I'm sure it is. All right, so you kind of alluded to it earlier. I want to start off with this, okay? Women's basketball, epic. This last tournament was amazing. It was fun to watch, and we have the stats to prove it, courtesy of our friends over at Front Office Sports. The NCAA Women's National Championship drew 9.9 million viewers, which was more than any women's basketball game ever, any MLS game ever, any Stanley Cup game since 1973. the 2023 Orange Bowl, the 2023 Sugar Bowl, any 2023 Thursday night football game, the 2021 NBA Finals. I feel like that was shade to the Suns. And then I don't know what the last thing says, the 2020 whatever. I think it also surpassed what's the NASCAR? The Daytona 500. Women's basketball is fun to watch. I'm a huge fan of women's basketball, have been. It feels like for 2 or 3 decades now. But obviously there was controversy in that game with Caitlin Clark. The game prior to the championship, doing the ring thing and can't see me, or she just did the can't see me stuff. And then Angel Reese did the same thing, except she ran over to her and showed her the ring and did this whole thing. To me, I'm going to give a little personal experience there, Eddie. I was in 7th grade playing at Mare Elementary School in junior high. We were playing a football game. We were up by 21 points, I think, in the 4th quarter. Choked the game away, fumbled the ball, and Beaver Creek Elementary School, shout out to Beaver Creek Elementary, picked up the ball, ran in the end zone at the end of the game to win. What did they do after the game? 7th grade, Eddie. 7th grade.
Choke.
Yeah. We were on the bus. And one of these kids grabbed a megaphone and shouted, "Eat shit and die," when we lost. And I was like a little aggressive for 7th graders, but I was on the bus and my teammates were a little upset and they were mad or whatever. And I'm sitting there all like, dude, we just choked. And we just choked.
No, you choked.
Yeah, I mean, we choked.
No, you.
It's a team game.
No.
It's a team sport.
You had the damn ball in your hand. You choked.
We choked. And I sat there and I thought, even then, like, all right, yeah, we deserve it.
I mean, how you drop the ball? Let me see your hand.
No, they're not as big as yours. No, we're not doing this again. You did this before. I'm not doing this again. I'm a little insecure about my hands and yours. So let's just not do that anymore. I didn't drop the ball. I was the quarterback, okay? Anyway, so I'm of the perception that, hey, if you lose, you got to be able to take it as well as you dish it. And to Caitlin Clark's credit, she did. She said she had no problem with what Angel Reese said. I didn't like how everything unfolded on social media. I sure as hell didn't like the fact that the first lady was like, oh, let's bring Iowa to the White House too. Like, get the out of here. Nobody wants the second place team to go to the White House. Why are we going to reward the second place team? That should never happen. I know you watched all this unfold as well, and you just mentioned it earlier.
Look, I think, I'm one of the biggest trash talkers to ever play. The great Larry Bird taught me how to trash talk. Just him going at me as a rookie and me just learning like not to take junk from people. And I realized when he did go at me, he got inside my head. And he made me do things out there on the court that I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I paid a price for it. Cotton got so mad at me, he didn't even play me for the next 4 or 5 games. So damn. I was a rookie, yeah. But I learned a lesson.
What did Larry Bird say?
We went out for a jump ball, and the veterans told me, like, just ignore him, Eddie. And so we go out for the jump ball, and this is Boston Garden. It's my first start ever. And I'm lining up, so I'm like, I'm not going to pay attention to anything. I'm just focused, right? And then he walks, and I noticed he walked and stood right next to me. And the official, something happened with the official, so he had to go back over the scores table. And I'm like, and he's just staring at me just like that. And I'm looking straight ahead. I'm trying to ignore him. And then finally he says, do you honestly think you're going to guard me? He said, I'm going to wear your ass out. Look at me when I'm talking to you, rookie. And I'm just looking straight ahead. This is a true story, man. And then the official taking all this time now, guys around the line, right? Both teams laughing. And I'm like, geez, I guess this is rookie hazing at his finest. And he turns, he looks at Cotton. He said, hey, Cotton. And then Jerry Reynolds was over there. I think Jerry Reynolds was over there. Jerry Reynolds was, he French lick. He knew Larry. Hey, Jerry, y'all think he guarding me tonight? Now the crowd hears him.
Oh, no.
I'm going to wear this rookie out. He turns back around. And he said, you hear me talking to you, don't you? I turned around, looked at him, I said.
And that's where you fucked up.
Yeah.
That's when he got you.
No, he smiled. He like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then during the game, he was hot. He was wearing me out. And he came down, he shot, and believe it or not, at that time, people don't want to believe it, but, because I wasn't shooting the ball a lot, I was like a defender. Mm-hmm. I really was when I first got in the league. And so I was playing him aggressively, trust me. And so I got up on him, and he shot a three from about 3 feet behind. And I think I got a fingertip on it, but they didn't see it, and it went short, air ball. It was short. And I just put a little grin on my face like that and walked away. He said, see, you don't get it. He said, do you see anybody checking in for me? I just shot 3 feet behind the three. And at that time, you're not allowed to shoot threes like mm-hmm. that, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't shoot threes like that. We might, as a team, shoot 2 a game.
Yeah.
He said, I bet I won't come out of the game. Now, why don't you try it? That's my Larry Bird story. So,
oh my goodness.
I got him the next game though. I popped him in his mouth in Kansas City, and I had a great game against him. He was on free throw line. He was staring at me, and he was bleeding, and I was laughing. And he said, "Oh, you think that's funny, huh?" I like, no. He said, "Well, you can't play defense." I said, "That's fine. That's fine. I know I can't stop you, but I can make you bleed," because he was bleeding. Mm-hmm. He ticked him off. So after the game, he came in the locker room. He went over like he was talking to Jerry Reynolds, and he walked back out. I said, this is not going to be easy. And he stopped, and he tossed me his room keys. He said, why don't you come over, meet me over in my room? We'll finish this out, you and me in the room. I was like, I don't know what you mean by that.
Oh, my
I said,
God.
Parrish and McHale might be around the corner helping you. And he looked at me, and he said, I like you. And he walked out.
And that was it. Huh?
That was it. And ever since, after that, he didn't trash talk me at all. He respected me. But that's him. Yeah. So going back to this, trash talk is a part of the game. Mm-hmm. It's a mental advantage. What Caitlin Clark did was in her space, and she has a right to do that because she was wearing people out.
Yes.
She wanted them to know she didn't see them or they didn't see her. And I loved it. And what Reese did, I loved it because threw shade back at her, got her butt, beat her, and sent her home. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the couch potatoes and the water boys and all the little sensitive people out there, well, when Kaylin did it, she wasn't in anybody's face. So if I throw a rock and hit you in the back of your head and I send you to the hospital, you'll respect me more if you see me throw the rock? I mean, who cares? I mean, people got ticked. She did it, the other teams, and they wanted to pay her back. Reese paid her back. See nothing wrong with it. I don't care. Look, between the lines, you can do anything. Now, if she'd have went over there to her bench, what's celebrating? I was a little shocked that the Suns celebrated when they lost to the Bulls in the finals. I still can't get over that they did that. Seriously. I mean, it was good for the city of Phoenix and all that. It wasn't like they'd never been to a finals. They'd gone to a finals before. Yeah. I was a little bit like, ugh. I wasn't like, it was like 500,000 people down there. Yeah. Charles up there like they won the title. They had second place title.
Yeah, yeah.
I work for the Suns. I wasn't in love with that one. If I was on that team, I guarantee you would not have gotten me on camera.
Mm. Okay.
You just wouldn't have, man. Like,
I agree.
First place is first place. They're celebrated, not second.
I agree. 1,000,000%. And listen, one of the things that I saw with my own kids growing up is, and I understand the fragile psyche of a kid sometimes, especially at a super young age. And I think there is a threshold here. You're 4 or 5 years old. Like, you don't really understand the concept of winning and losing yet, and how much it means. So, like, everybody gets a trophy, cool. But once you get to like 7, 8, 9 years old and you start to understand the concept of winning and what it takes to win at a certain level and how much, you got to put time in to be able to see results, and the same practices that would happen not only on the field or on the court, but also in the classroom, at home when your parents are making sure that you're doing your chores and you're abiding by your responsibilities, like all those things, right? I think those are all encapsulated into one space, and it's not everybody gets a ribbon. The sense of entitlement that everybody should be rewarded for effort is bullshit. There's good effort and there's bad effort. One of the things that one of my coaches used to say was good effort, poor execution.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And sometimes that applies to people that don't come through in big time moments, like the Iowa basketball team did not. They didn't have a chance that whole game. They basically got dominated that whole game. But we're going to act like that was a terrific game because Caitlin Clark had 30-plus points. No, it was not a great game. The reason why is because LSU was just flat out a much better team. They just were. And they dominated that championship game. They should be recognized to go to the White House. And that's it. There is no second place. Not everybody gets ribbon. There's not 64 teams that are wearing rings because they got to the NCAA tournament. No, you got to win something to get a ring. Period. Conference tournament, national championship. That's it. And so I was not on board with all the people getting all soft about it. Like, that's Angel Reese. Listen, when two people do the exact same thing, they deserve the same praise or the same negative recognition. And I'm just completely not on board with this.
I'm glad she's back down.
Yeah.
I'm glad she backed down.
Caitlin Clark even said yesterday, like, she had no issue with any of that. You know why? Because she's a fucking baller.
She's a baller, man. Look, I broke every second place trophy I had. That thing, man, my first trophy I got, man, it was like a baseball thing about this big. You get a little baseball trophy. It was for second place. Man, I threw that. Man, I broke that thing when I got home. Like, I don't want that. Like, why? I don't know. No, not when you're competing.
Yeah.
Like, when you're competing in sports, no. Like, if you venture from, like, one of the worst teams and you, like, come up short second place, I can see a reward in that. Don't get me wrong. It's a growth reward in that. I'm fine with it. But I'm not, like, showing that off. Like, I have 2 Emmys, okay? Just think if they gave a second place Emmy.
Oh, Jesus.
Man, I'd be breaking that damn trophy. Second place Emmy. Like, no. Like, I want first. And in life, it's a lot of firsts for a lot of people in a variety of ways. You see the hard work all the way to the first. Mm-hmm. If you start to settle for second, man, you're going to come up second.
Yeah. 1,000,000%. Speaking of second place, my man EJ usually comes in second when we golf, and you golfed the other day and almost, but it didn't count, right? What's this? What's this right here?
Yeah, it was at the Raven.
Damn,
that was 100. That was on the 7th hole.
Par 5?
It's par 3. I think,
okay, par 3.
Hole. 197 into the wind
with the 6 iron.
6 iron. When I hit my clubs right, I've worked on my irons.
In the wind, though.
Yeah, but
that's
the wind,
a shot.
The wind, it was a swirling wind.
Okay.
So it wasn't like totally in my face. Then I would hit a 5 iron. But no, it wasn't but it was like, it was moving this way, and then it was like, it was coming, it was swirling. And and I'm telling you, when I knew it was going to be close, and you played the Raven, I knew it was going to be close, man, when it hit. Because, in that particular hole, you got 2 sand traps right here. So you got to, like, basically, you can run it up if you hit it, and it just hit just right. And it just bounced. I thought it was in. Like, I play with guys that's obviously shorter than me. I'm 6'8", I can see, right? And I'm like, roll in. And I was like, how did that not go in? And I went up there, and it was right where it was.
Where was your first hole in one at?
Southern Dunes. Okay. Number 4. Beautiful.
Did they give you anything for it?
Yeah, I did win some money for that. We have a side bet in our groups.
No, I meant like, did the course recognize you at all? Because some
they
courses
did. They gave me a free lunch. I have the flag.
Did you pick up the bar tab?
See that right there, I'm not into that. I'm not paying somebody for something I did. They need to celebrate me.
I agree.
Why would I have to pay, especially in our group now? Like, if you get a hole in one in our group, that's an extra $100 a man, period.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Well, now you do.
We sweating every single time we hit a par 3 now.
Now you do.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. I had a similar experience, except I almost had an albatross on a par 5.
To me, that's even better. I've had one of those.
I thought so.
I've had one of those.
You had an albatross?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Huh. Where's that one at?
That was, what was that? I think it could have been was that Camelback?
Okay.
years ago. I couldn't play golf. I got lucky.
Yeah.
I hit a 3-wood, I think, man. I ain't know where that thing was going. Nine times out of 10, it went to the right, to the left, or it rolled. I got that sucker up in there, bounce, boom, 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 went in.
Yeah, wow. Mine was 325 out in Common Ground out in Colorado. 325 downhill with a 3-wood. And when I hit it, I didn't see where it went. I was like, I don't know where it went. And as I was driving, I was like, oh man, there's a ball close to the hole. It's like this close to the hole. So I've never had an albatross myself. I got close. Never had one. So
well,
someday
you down 0-2. You never had a hole in one. You never had that.
Someday. It'll happen. I'm gonna expect that.
Not playing with me because I'm in your head too good.
Yeah. That's it for another episode of Outside Shots. But before we go, I think we're going to use this as a nice, beautiful goodbye, courtesy of Olivia Thompson saying her goodbyes to South Carolina in the most epic style ever. No long, I'm blessed to have been playing at this university and blah, 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 blah. No. Just simple, bye. That's it. That's how she went out. One of the best recruiting classes in the history of South Carolina is now come to a completion. Olivia Thompson.
They need to find some people who make jump shots, though.
Yeah, that's true. But on that note, that has been another episode of Outside Shots. You can follow my man Eddie Johnson at JumpShotA on Twitter and tell them where they can find you on Sirius.
You hear me 3 hours a day on Sirius XM NBA Radio, Channel 86 or 207, the NBA Today Show. EJ gets a lot longer chance to talk on that show other than I do here.
As if he didn't talk for 45 minutes today. Anyway.
I was a little hyper.
He was a little hype today. You can follow me on Twitter at Saul_Bookman. We can't wait to see some of you folks tonight at the Takeover. Let's have fun. Go watch the Nuggies lose tonight. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Come out to the OG's Budsapalooza. Peace.